Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back. Today, I want to talk about when should you break no contact. I'm sure you're very curious to hear what I have to say because I know you have been dying to break no contact. I know you. I know you so well. And welcome back, No Contact Army. Have you been a good little soldier or a bad little soldier? And if you too want to join the No Contact Army, it's very easy. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button and you're in. And if you want to read the No Contact Army manual, just go to nocontactsecrets.com where you can download 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. So if you've been listening to me for a while, if you've heard any of my other videos, you know that I always say that you don't respond unless your ex says something significant. And people always say, well, what's significant? Well, I don't know because I don't know what your ex is going to say. There's a million things they could say, so I can't really make a video on what's significant. But I'm going to give you 2 things you need to look out for. The 2 E's, effort and escalation. When you have both those things, you can break no contact. Now, the first time you hear from your ex when you're in no contact, you should never respond, no matter what they say. And they also are most likely not going to say anything significant. They're not going to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I miss you so much, please take me back. I really doubt that's what they're going to say as a first message. But even so, let's say that they did say that, it doesn't matter because though they put in the effort to say that, they didn't put in escalation yet, right? You have to have both those things, effort and escalation. If you're confused, don't worry, I'm going to explain this very clearly. So I'll read some brief comments here of people who did not do the right thing when they responded to their ex. All right, so this one says, I actually made the mistake of taking him back 6 days after the breakup. Way too soon, and I bet you she didn't ask the 6 questions. Just yesterday we broke up again. Why did I? The message was significant, as Lucia said. Well, she didn't put the message, so I don't know what the message was. I tried convincing him that it was too soon. You don't have to convince him that it's too soon. You need to convince yourself and do what's right instead of trying to convince him that it's too soon. But given that I'm too nice a person, that's why nice people finish last, I gave in and here we are again. Exactly. So there was probably no effort and no escalation, especially if it was only 6 days after the breakup. So there you go again. And then you get your heart broken all over again. The next comment says, the ex finds and texts me after months on an app. Okay, so there's effort. He had to find her because I guess she had blocked him. Okay, he said, how are you? Etc. I responded, good. And then no response. So no escalation. Next comment. After 79 days of no contact, my ex texted me and said, good morning. How much money do I owe you? Do I respond or ignore her? If your ex owes you money, always respond. Always respond. Unless it's such a small amount of money that you don't care. You know, if they owe you 20 bucks, it's like, who cares? Whatever. Or if it's small amount to you. If it's 100, hey, for some people 100 is a lot and they want their money back. For you, 100 might be nothing. It's like, who cares, you know? Or 10,000. You want 10,000? Nah, I don't need it. Just kidding. Okay. He called after 10 days of no contact. I called back about 3 hours later. Casual conversation. I ended it first. He said, stay in touch. Now 3 weeks of nothing, confused. Okay, so I don't know if he said to call him back or if he left a significant message, but the mistake was that you called him back. I mean, he did put in an effort to call, but again, it was too soon, only 10 days after no contact. He called, but so there was a little bit of effort, but no escalation. Then I have one more, and then I'm going to tell you a story. Okay, she says, so I don't know what he has to say. He just asked me to call him back when I can. He's called 6 times in a span of 2 weeks. I've ignored them all. No text. So here there is effort, but no escalation. So she's right in not responding. I mean, he just keeps calling and says, call me back. If it was really important, he would have sooner or later left a message. He wouldn't have just kept calling over a span of 2 weeks. Obviously, it's not urgent. It's not super important, or he wouldn't just keep calling. He just wants to see if she is going to call him back. So again, all these examples I gave you, they either had effort or they had escalation, but they didn't have both. So I'm going to tell you a story that I think will help you to understand. And if you've heard my video that I did about why you can't manifest a text, where I mentioned the celebrity that I manifested a text from, a celebrity that I was in touch with, I think that in telling the story with him, it'll help you to understand what I'm talking about. So when I first met him, he hit me up on Instagram. I didn't know who he was at first, but I did see the blue check mark, so I was interested. I was like, who's this? So I checked him out. I was like, wow, he's cute. So I responded, a little bit of chatting, and then he said, I'm in town for a few days. Do you want to get together? I said, sure. And this was a Tuesday. I said, how long are you in town for? He said, Thursday. And I said, well, I'm free tomorrow, which was Wednesday. And he said, great, see you tomorrow. I said, okay. And that was it. And he didn't try to plan. And of course, I wasn't going to do it because, hey, he contacted me. He asked me out. It's his job. I wasn't going to do his job. Ladies, I hope you're listening. Don't do the man's job. And so obviously we didn't get together. And I thought, well, that was weird. I don't know what that was all about, but okay, whatever. I thought I would never hear from him again. However, after he went out of town, left town, and the day after the Friday, I heard from him again. And he wanted to know if I had a Snapchat. And I said, yes, I do. And he said, can I have it? I don't know if that's the tone that he wrote the text with. I'm sure it's not, but this is just my interpretation. And so now I had to make an executive decision, because I know most of y'all, if you got hit up by a celebrity that you were attracted to and they asked for your Snapchat, you'd be like, Snapchat? Why, yes, here it is. Please snap away. Snap morning, day, and night. Snap, 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 snap anytime. Please snap me. However, I'm not you and you're not me. And I didn't think it was cool that he just asked me out, asked to get together, and then disappeared. Now, it's not a big deal. It's not like I got ready and I sat around waiting all day, waiting to hear from him. But it's about manners and class and respect. It's like, why do you ask me out and then just disappear? And I know people are doing it these days. It doesn't make it right. He could have said, oh, listen, something came up. I'm not going to be able to meet, blah, 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 whatever. And so I had to decide, am I going to give him my Snapchat or am I not going to give him my Snapchat? What do you think I did? Those of you that know me will know that I did not give him my Snapchat. And in fact, I said, you've been a bad boy, so for now, no Snapchat for you. And he didn't respond to that. And I didn't hear from him for about a month because he wasn't back in LA during that time. And I thought it was over, that I would never hear from him again. And again, I thought, okay, that was interesting. Don't know what that was all about. I didn't really care. My interest level wasn't that high because I was interested in someone else at that time. So interest level plays a big part in how people behave, especially after a breakup. There has to be a high interest level in order for them to want to do the 2 E's and to want to get back together. And my interest level wasn't that high in him, even though he was a celebrity. It doesn't matter. It's more about the emotional connection. And so I was into someone else at that time. So I thought that was it. And then about a month later, I'm getting ready to go out on a Friday night. And what do you know? Who should hit me up again on Instagram but our little friend? And as soon as I saw his message, I was like, yes, it's on. It's on. I knew he was interested. See, so we have escalation. This was the third time he was hitting me up. he said, hey, we just got back, we just got in town. I want to meet you this time. And I looked at his stories, and indeed, he had just gotten in town. And we did try to get together, but, obviously he's always busy doing what celebrities do. They keep him busy morning, noon, and night. So it was difficult. And I was able to know this because he pretty much posts everything he does on his stories. So I knew he was always doing something. So we chatted a bit, and we weren't able to get together at that time. Then another month went by. He wasn't in town. And that was when I did the text manifestation from him that I talked about in that video, where I decided to try to manifest a text from him even though he wasn't in Los Angeles. And it happened. And then about another month later, see, everything takes place a month in month segments. Back in town, again trying to get together. His schedule, always busy, working till 11 p.m., 12 midnight. I wasn't going to go meet him at 12 midnight. We didn't get together that time. A month later, it was his birthday, so I wished him a happy birthday, and then I sent him a sexy but classy photo. No, it wasn't a nude, and it wasn't a topless or a bottomless. It was just sexy but classy. So now his interest level went up. He's like, woo, I want to meet you as soon as possible. And I said, when are you going to be in LA? He goes, I don't know, but I hope soon. And then about 3 weeks later, not a month this time, 3 weeks, the night before he was coming to LA, he texted me and said, I'm going to be in Los Angeles tomorrow. So we have effort. He keeps contacting me every time he was in town. And escalation. Now, instead of contacting me the night that he arrived, he contacted me the day before to let me know so I could clear my schedule. So, again, he arrives in town. We're trying to get together. He's busier than me, obviously. And we're trying, again, to figure out when it's going to happen. And then he escalated. He said some magic words. And I was like, yes, now is the time. And just out of nowhere, he said, oh my God, babe, I really want to meet you. And then some other logistics. And he had never called me babe before. And the fact that he said, I really want to meet you. Because before he had been kind of, cool about it. It's like, oh, I really hope we can meet this time. Oh, oh yeah, me too. I hope we can meet, la la la. Just the usual surface flirting and chatting. But for him to say, I really want to meet you, I was like, okay. It's not that I was waiting for escalation, but I knew this was the time to strike. It's like, okay, because otherwise, who knows how he's going to feel in a month? Who knows what's going to happen in a month? And I knew that was the time to meet after 6 months of chatting. So I finally met him. Great guy, classy, absolutely no attitude whatsoever, and he was actually nervous to meet me. So that was kind of cute. and we've been, we're still in contact. We're still talking. So as you can see, he put in the effort, right? He continually contacted me. He didn't need to contact me, but his interest level was high because he's got, trust me, millions of girls interested in him. So after I didn't give him my Snapchat, he could have just said, oh, forget her. There's other girls I can get their Snapchat, whatever. But because he was interested, he kept putting in the effort. He didn't have to. And it's interesting because, I'm on dating apps and I'm talking to guys, meeting guys. And last year, he was the only one that was consistent. And he was the one that didn't have to be consistent. Because again, he's the celebrity. He didn't have to. He could have just moved on to someone else. So I'd be talking to these other guys and they would disappear, ghost, not put a lot of effort into it, whatever. And yet he was consistent month after month. I want to meet you. I want to meet you. I want to meet you. So that's what I mean when I say, we want to know what their interest level is. That's why you don't respond the first time that your ex contacts you, because you want to see what they're going to do. Because if they're not really that interested, then they're not going to want to get back together. And there's no point in breaking no contact if you don't have a decent chance of getting back together, because you're just going to get hurt all over again. And so whatever they say for the first message, it doesn't matter. You wait and see if they're going to put in more effort, if they're going to message you again, if they're going to be more insistent. It can't just be the same message every week. Like they're putting in effort, but just saying, hey, or hi, how are you? If that is all that their messages say, sure, that's effort, but it's not escalation. And a great example of someone who did this really well was the video I did titled, If You Want Your Ex Back, Ignore Them. Go listen to that if you haven't already. This is the woman who her ex contacted her 6 weeks into no contact, and he was sending her notes and sending her gifts, and she still ignored him because she was really mad. And then about a month later, finally, he really escalated and wrote her a letter, said, I'm sorry, I love you, I want you back, blah, 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 blah. That's a great example of effort and escalation. So don't be in a rush to respond. And if you're wondering, is it significant enough? Ask yourself, are they putting in effort? Or are they just calling or texting something that's very casual, but it's not escalating? If they're really interested and they see that you're not responding, they will escalate and they will come clean and finally say, please, can you please respond to me? I'm sorry, I messed up. I want to talk to you. I need to see you. It's going to be something. They're not just going to keep the conversation at a surface level because maybe they just want to be friends. Maybe they want to see if they still have access to you. Maybe you hurt their ego and so they want to know why you're not responding. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they want to get back together. So if you're wondering, if you're confused about, is this significant enough? Remember, never respond to the first text and probably not even the second one. Look for effort and look for escalation. So comment below and let me know what things your exes have said and if you need help with that, deciding whether you should respond or not. And I will hopefully be able to answer everyone, though I probably won't, and let you know whether I think it's significant enough, if there's been enough effort and escalation for you to finally break no contact. And if you want my help personally to get your ex back with private coaching, you can contact me at theartoflove.net. The direct link is below. If you're listening on YouTube, remember to like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.